So here we'll look at example 5. Example 5 has 2 loops, but they're not nested. When we don't have nested loops, it's a little easier to figure out. So normally we have like an outer loop and an inner loop to reason about that. So here we'll just call it the first loop and the second loop. So I have the first loop. The first loop uses the variable named I, and I starts at the value of 0. And every time I increases by 1, and then I goes up to and includes n. Okay, so that'll go all the way until I is equal to n. There's no inner loop to look at, so we can just look at how many steps are happening there. And it's like, oh, well, there's just kind of one step. The inside of that loop gets executed. So for each of these, there's just one step. I'm interested in the total number of steps here. And if I look at this, I've got n plus 1 terms. Because of that, I equals 0 all the way up to n. So my total is n plus 1. So this is n plus 1 terms. And since I've got n plus 1 steps, I can say, oh, this is in O of n. Okay, that's only part of it though, right? Because I'm in example 5, and there's a second loop. That second loop uses the variable z, and z starts off at 0, because it says int z gets 0. And each time z is going to increase by 1. And let's look at how many steps we see there. So here, there's only a single value for z in each of these cases. Oh, I'm sorry. The last term is that z is going to be equal to m. And so still in this last step, z only has one value. So that's equal to m. I'm interested in the total number of steps. So that's the total of all of these steps. And I just have m plus 1 terms. And they're all 1. So my total is going to be m plus 1. So this second loop is going to be in O of m. And since we're doing both the first loop and the second loop, my final answer is that my big O is going to be in O of n plus m. And m here, I'm assuming are independent, so I can't just get rid of them. It's different, like if I had n plus n, that's 2n, and I can drop that too. But since these are 2 different variables, I need to keep both of them because they both could dictate the runtime of this code that has 2 loops, one that runs in O of n and one that runs in O of m.